I wouldn't have thought it possible. This same candle has been here so long, it's growing a beard. Oh, hello. Welcome once again to the Library of Horror Hotel, where it's time to look at another good-looking Halloween mask for all your haunting needs on Creepy Cheapies with Dr. Lady. I'm Buddy Hackett, and today, you know what? There's a good joke in there somewhere, Buddy Hackett. That, you know, I mean like Hackett, like there's a pun there, a horror joke. You know, what would Jason or Leatherface do with a teenager's head or arms and legs? Hack it off? Hack it? Maybe they're your buddy who'd hack it. Maybe I'm your buddy that can't hack it. I don't know. Look, there are the components of a joke there. You assemble it yourself, because who's got time? Because it's time to look at this very cool mask right here, which happens to be called Cave Demon. Now, Cave Demon has been out for quite a while. I believe it first came out around 2013, 14, somewhere in that neck of the woods. But as of 2019, it was still in production from the folks at Ruby's Costumes. This is part of the Mask Illusions line from Ruby's, and it's not one of the very oldest Mask Illusions masks, because some of them were around, well, long before that. But I believe this one is from the 2013-14 neighborhood. And the odd thing about it, well, besides that it's a skull with giant horns and fangs, I guess that's a little odd in itself. The odd thing about it that I thought was maybe worth mentioning as a mask fan is that even though it's been in production for a long time and it's fairly easy to come by, I almost never see them. I don't see this in anybody's collection, and when I go to haunted houses and haunted you know, trails, haunted hayrides, whatever, at Halloween, I never see this guy haunting those places. And he certainly should be used, because he'd be an excellent addition to any haunted something or other, don't you think? Now, this sells for around 25 or 30 bucks, which is pretty great for this nice of a mask. The only thing I would warn you about, the only caveat, is that it is a Ruby's mask, and Ruby's likes to crush their masks down using the technology that the tall man uses in Phantasm. Likes to crush them down, smash them up, but don't necessarily lose hope in that case, because you can usually stuff them out into shape, and I like to sort of overstuff, which I have done here, using these soon-to-be outlawed plastic bags from supermarkets, places like that. I like to stuff them out and kind of overstuff them for a week or two, and then you can take that excess stuffing out of there, and they're probably going to just, you know, snap right back into their shape pretty well. Let's look at him again without 5,000 shopping bags wadded up in there. Okay, here he is. Look, it has eye holes and everything. Okay, so you could actually see out of it. Now, if I were going to wear this, I would probably either just use a shredded robe, like a Grim Reaper robe, only sort of torn up and mangled looking, would be nice. I know Zagoni's has a good one called, I think, Rotting Gown, I think they call it. But it's made out of a burlappy kind of material, and it's got a nice shredded, torn look to it. I might go with that, or I might cobble together something along the lines of a warrior, like somebody from Army of Darkness. Sort of a medieval fantasy Lord of the Rings looking costume might be good for him, with some armored parts and some fur. And anyway, the problem about crushing the mask, and I shouldn't just pick on Ruby's alone, because there are other mask companies that do that. When they have these things in storage in the stock room or the warehouse, or while they're in shipping in the mail, they're like completely smashed out of shape. Don't do that to the masks. Kids, please don't do that at home. Or here, either. And let me just explain something to you. If you have to crush the mask up for a while, like you have to cram a large number of masks into a tiny space, and you really have to do it, you can get away with it if it's not a prolonged, extended period of time. If you're going to mail it, okay, it'll be a couple of days in the mail, it'll probably be fine. But even then, I would suggest at least crush them in a way that is symmetrical. That is, see, if I'm doing this, I'm tucking the back side in there and crushing it. If I crush it like that, any leftover visible signs of the crushery will be at least symmetrical. And when you take it out of the package, it's going to pop back out into shape pretty well. Some masks, it depends on the design. Some of them I would say crush them from front to back and it would be okay. But the thing that Rubies and some of the companies do is they just throw them, just pile them in on top of each other, and they end up like this. See, like crushed at a 45-degree angle or a 130-degree angle or something like that. That's bad, because then, see, instead of having your line down the middle, if there is any sign that it was folded up, then it's going to be crooked. And especially if it's got eye holes cut out where the folding happened, that will cause problems down the line, because it'll give your mask a case of lazy eye, as we call it in the mask world. So if you do have to smash them, don't smash them crooked, smash them sort of evenly. Take that into consideration. Now the paint on this thing is phenomenal for something in this price range, and I did not touch this up at all. It actually looks this good right out of the package. So I think hats off and horns off and skulls off to Rubies for coming up with such a nice mask as the Cave Demon. Even though he does have the problem that, you know, he looks like the head of a demon you'd find in a cave. But even though you're buying a head in a cave, you might get exactly the opposite, by which I mean a caved-in head, because Rubies likes to do this when they ship their mask. But again, you can probably, oh, and another thing you can do besides stuffing it for a week or two is, look at that, there's still some paper in there. You can use a blow dryer, heat it up a little. Sometimes that will help them pop back into shape too, but just don't store them that way indefinitely, crushed out of shape. Okay, and until next time, farewell from me and the Cave Demon, a guy who grew up with his mother always saying, "Were you raised in a cave?" And he said, "Yeah, Cave Demon."